Okay guys, so today I wanted to talk about selection statements. And in Java, there's three selection statements. The first one is the if statement right here. The second one is the if and else statement, or you can just remember as the else statement. And the third one is the switch statement. Now, during this video, we're just going to talk about the first two, the if and then the else statement, just because it's going to take a little bit too long to go over the other ones. So, um, what an else statement is true is it checks a condition. If a condition is true, then we're going to do something. And if a condition is false, we can also do something. So you choose whether you want it to be true and do something, or if you want it to be false and do something. Let's just go over some examples right now. So let's first start, let's make a program that what it'll do is it'll ask for your name. And then if your name is, let's say, greater than 5 letters, it'll say, hey, your name is greater than 5 letters, right? So let's just go ahead and get started. We're going to use what we learned last time, the java.utility.scanner class. And we're going to create a variable that holds a value from the keyboard. So new java.utility.scanner system.in. And I went over this, I believe this last video. But basically, this is just going to take in something from the system, from the keyboard, and it's going to save it in input. Okay. And that's going to be their name. So we want to save that to another variable called name, a string variable, input.next. And I'll just quickly say here, okay, so go ahead and take something from the keyboard, save it in input, and then whatever they put there, the very next thing they put in there, it's going to go right into your name, this variable called name. And we're going to use this, okay? And then you want to ask them their name. So system.out.println, what is your name? Okay, you're gonna say, hey, what is your name? And then they're gonna tell you, let's just run it real quick so we can go ahead and, what is your name? Will. Okay, it'll go ahead and save it in the input, and then from the input we're gonna transfer it to the name variable here. Okay, now we want to check if the length is greater than 5, and this is where we use our if statement. Okay, so here we go. If the name dot length, because we want to know the length, right? And you can see as you're typing it, you can see that it'll pop, a little thing will pop to assist you. If the name dot length is greater than 5, then we will say your name is greater than 5 letters. Okay, so that is a very simple if statement that we just did. As you can see, you put if as the keyword, you put the condition here. The condition is if the length of the name, so the name.length is greater than 5 letters, then go ahead and execute anything in between these two brackets. Okay, let's go ahead and run it. Okay, what is your name? Well, my name is John, Jon. Okay, so nothing happened. So why did nothing happen? Because your name is not greater than 5. It's actually less than 5. So then it'll check here and say, is it greater than 5? No. Okay, well then let's go ahead and go to the next statement. And there's nothing there, so the program just ends. Let's go ahead and run it again with the name equal to 5. So let's do Willie. Okay, did anything happen? No. Why not? Because it's equal to 5. It needs to be greater than 5 for something to happen. Let's run it again. Willis. Okay, so as we can see, because it's 6 letters greater than 5, it says it checks the condition here. Okay, let's go ahead and check name. Let's check the length of the name. Is it greater than 5? Yes, it's 6. Go ahead and execute everything in between the brackets. And as you can see, it printed what I told it to print. Your name is greater than 5. So that's a simple if statement. you can actually use different, what you call them, relational operators to do different things. So for example, you could see, instead of greater than 5, you could do greater than or equals to 5. So if you do get, let's say you do a name with 5, Willie, then it'll actually include that one because it's greater than or equal to. And then you can do the less than or equal to, or you can do just the less than, whatever you need the condition to be. And the other one that you can use is the not equal to. So let's say we want to say, hey, if the name is not equal to 5, then we're going to say your name doesn't have 5 letters. Okay, so we're saying if the name's length is not equal to 5, then your name does not have 5 letters. Let's go ahead and try it. Okay, Willie Seed. Okay, that has obviously not equal to 5, right? So this should execute, correct? Yes, that's correct. Okay, what about if we did 5? Willis, or William, sorry. Then this should not execute, right? Because if it's equal to 5, it's gonna skip this. So, nothing. Okay. The next selectional statement is the else statement. And you combine that, you have to combine it with an if statement. So if this is true, or if this is false in this situation, in this scenario, then go ahead and execute this. Otherwise, execute something else. So let's change this here back to how we want it. We had it before. If the length is equal to 5, then we're gonna change it to your name has 5 letters. Okay, so simple. If the name's length is equal to 5, we're gonna say your name has 5 letters. That makes sense. But what about if you wanna, if it doesn't equal to 5? Well, you can go ahead and put an else statement. Else, put the brackets, kind of like you did before, and then you can do system.out.print. So we can go ahead and print your name doesn't have 5 letters, right? So let's go ahead and try it. So, okay, we're gonna try Will. So the computer is gonna check here and say, okay, is Will have 5 letters? Is it equal to 5? No. So then it's gonna skip all this and it's gonna go back to this one and it's gonna execute this, right? So it's either one or the other. So this one's should execute this one on the bottom. What is your name? Will. Okay, your name does not have 5 letters, right? Let's go ahead and run it again. Willie. And this one it'll check, okay, is it 5? Yes, it's 5. Then go ahead and execute this and skip this one because it's one or the other with if and else statement. So I'm sorry, I keep doing this. Okay, your name has 5 letters. There you go, as you can see. So that is the basic way to do the if and then the else statement. If that's all you wanted to know, you can end the video, but I'm gonna go a little bit more over the if statement. So we're gonna try to, well, I'm gonna show you a different way. So you can actually multiply, have multiple statements. So for example, if it equals to 5, say, hey, your name has 5 letters, and then you can do system.out.print the number 5. So we're gonna do 2 things. First of all, is we're gonna print this statement, and then on a new line, we're gonna print the number 5. So we can do multiple statements at once. Go ahead and run it. What is your name? Willie. Okay, your name has 5 letters and then the number 5. That's one way to do it. You can run multiple statements. So if we had a bunch of letters, your name does not have 5 letters. So it'll check here, say, hey, it doesn't equal to 5. Go ahead and execute this. That's very simple. Now you can nest these statements together. So this can get kind of complicated. Wonder if I should go over that. Let's just do something else. Let's go ahead and do it a different way. See these brackets right here, and this is a little more advanced. You don't need these brackets if you only have one statement. So let's say the else statement right here. We can go ahead and do this. What is your name? We're going to do the else. So we're going to do 10 letters or something like that. That way we go to the else. I'm sorry. There you go. Your name does not have 5 letters. So if you only have one statement on one line, you can go ahead and do this. But if you have more than one thing that you want to execute, then don't do this, because it'll execute this and then it'll automatically execute the other one, no matter what. So let's say we have another system.out.print hello. This is bad because now it's only going to execute this, and then no matter what, it's going to execute this one. So if you had only 5 letters, or like Willie, it should only do these, right? That's what we wanted it to do. It shouldn't do any of these. Well, that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Jesus. See, it does, your name has 5 letters, it does number 5, and it does hello. So you only want to do this when you only have one statement and no bracket things. For starters, you can just do the brackets. It's a lot easier. That way you don't mess up. But sometimes when you have a lot of statements, it can get kind of messy having those brackets. So I personally don't use them unless I have to, just because it's easier to read sometimes. Now, we can go over the last thing, which is nesting the if statements. Let's go ahead and start all over with these, okay? So we have the name, and then we can go ahead and do something with the name. So let's say if the name is greater than 5, we're going to say, hey, your name is greater than 5 again. So system.out.print your name is greater than 5, okay? And we're going to put this inside an if statement. So if name.length is greater than 5, then we can go ahead and print this. But what if we wanted let's say we wanted to print that, but we also wanted to print something if it was greater than 10. And this is not the most efficient way to do this, but just for this example, we're going to go ahead and do this. Let's use the brackets. Okay. So what we'll do is put another if statement. So if name.length is greater than 10, then we want to say another statement saying system.out.print your name has more than 10 letters. Okay. And let me make sure I got this. Okay, we need one more bracket because this if statement contains this statement, and then this if statement also is inside of there. And you can keep nesting them, kind of like the those Russian dolls. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this. So let's do a name with I have an error. I forgot a brace. What is that? Okay, so what is your name? Let's do greater than 5 but less than 10. So if this is the case, it should only do this one, right? Because it's greater than 5, so it'll do this. But it's not greater than 10, so it shouldn't do this. So we can do Willis, something like 6 letters. Okay, perfect. So it executes this one, and it will not execute this one. Let's go ahead and run it again and do something with a bunch of different letters, greater than 10. Okay, your name is greater than 5, so it executes this one. And then your name has more than 10 letters, it executes this one. And then you can combine this with another else statement here if you want to. So as you can see, you can kind of play around with all that. Hopefully that helped. Kind of gets a little bit complicated. And then next video, I'll go over the switch statement.